So it says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. I always waffle a little bit at the beginning here, just in case it hasn't quite made it, but it looks good. So brilliant. Welcome, everybody. I hope some of you are able to join us live today. If not, please do feel free to watch back on replay and hashtag it with hashtag replay so that we pick up on any comments that may have come in. We don't want to miss any. And I'm sure Brigitte would like to answer any questions that you might have if they happen later on. So welcome, Brigitte Scholz-Mastroianni. No, I haven't pronounced that right.
Almost right.
Mastroianni.
Yeah, that's good.
Double N, Ianni. Right, we shouldn't spend too long on this.
Brigitte Scholz-Mastroianni, but you can call me anything because I have heard so many versions of my name in the past 30 years. I've been a foreigner for 30 years in different countries, so I listen to anything you want to call me.
Okay, you don't want to give me that invite. I'll come up with some random nickname.
Be my guest.
But thank you so much for joining us. We're doing this week is slightly different from other weekly wellbeing sessions insofar that I get to come live with you as well, which is exciting. And it's really apt because some of you may have seen already this morning that I have changed my profile picture. Brigitte has taken my photo before, but it has been in a theatre setting. So I've been playing a character. I've been someone else, which that's fine because I can just pretend to be someone else. Those that know me know I absolutely detest having my photo taken. There are very few photos of me in existence. My profile picture that was on my page prior to this was taken about 4 years ago as a selfie. I mean, it's rubbish. And I've resisted and resisted, even though Brigitte has, been in the back of my mind to take photos for a while. But we got this opportunity to do a fantastic virtual photo shoot, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But so Brigitte, people might think photography, what has that got to do with well-being?
Yeah.
Some people may be able to make that link, but others might think this is very different to the other guest speakers we've had in previous weeks, and it is. But I'd really love to start hearing from you about how you got into photography in the first place.
Okay, well, thank you first of all for giving me the opportunity to talk here with your wonderful mindfulness community. I know many of the ladies and love them, and I love our sessions. So hi everyone, thank you for listening. So how did I get into photography? I can't even remember. I have been all my life, even as a teenager, I've been photographing or filming, had always one of those cameras in my pocket. Later on, as some of you know, I've had a life in front of the camera. So I had the amazing opportunity to learn the trade better in the best, biggest, most fantastic places, a little bit around the world, with amazing photographers in big studios. And even then, when I was being photographed or filmed, I photographed the people who photographed and filmed me, or made me up, or stylists. And I developed a great passion for real people, meaning I think actors and models are absolutely beautiful people and lovely to look at. But personally, I have more of a hang of loving the beauty of real people. So I started photographing them more and more and more. And that's how it's always been with me, basically, photography.
Right, yeah. And it must be interesting to move from one side of the camera to the other, to be the person that has to get from the model. Yeah. I don't mean just model as in, famous model. I mean, anyone who is your subject, having to get kind of the best from them, because presumably models you have a sort of training, or the more you do it, it's just second nature. It's your job, right? But when you've got Joe Bloggs from the street having their photo taken, don't know how to stand, don't know how to pose, absolutely kind of freeze. I'm speaking personally here, aren't I? It's so funny to see some of the pictures from yesterday where I'm like, look, like, will you stop it now? Or something.
Aren't they? I know you will never publish those, but honestly, aren't they just too cute? Those pictures where you crack up, and I love them.
Yeah, do you know what? Some of the laughy ones I think I might use. Obviously, the ones where I'm really pulling quite grotesque faces, they're the ones that are going to be ditched. So it was at this point of kind of photographing sort of normal people, for want of a better word, that weren't used to being in front of the camera, that you realized that there could be a sort of therapeutic edge to...
No, that came much later. By the way, I like to call anyone who sits in front of the camera a model. That's there's probably a better word for it, but that's, or maybe client model if you wish. No, that came much later, much later. It was something that developed kind of magically. It was not something I aimed for. It just happened. You know, you'd always think that a model is super confident in front of the camera, but even models start out and they are not, and they are surrounded by people who are much better than them, or if you wish, much prettier than them, or whatever. So you learn that confidence as well. I remember, for example, in the beginning, like you yesterday, I couldn't smile. It was like, you know, but you literally train those muscles in a way that eventually, after months and years, you come up with the most natural smile, even if you feel complete crap. So it's a confidence tool.
Yeah.
Isn't smiling a confidence tool?
I definitely think it is. And what was interesting, I think, is what you just said there about even models thinking other people are prettier, thinner, better, totally. Whatever. So it really does link with this idea of these stories that we tell ourselves. And certainly one of the things that I was kind of doing, or we were both joking about yesterday, was this idea of kind of actually just, you know, I could notice the tension in my jaw. So whether that's because I practice mindfulness, I'm really acutely aware of all these body sensations that were happening, but actually that really helped to notice that I was clenching within my face and then letting that go a little bit, and, you know, so that I could just be a bit more natural.
And what did we do to let it go?
What, with the screaming versus singing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big
look, even now you're talking about singing, which is a passion of yours, and look at you, you're smiling. How pretty are you when you smile?
Oh yeah, well, as I just said to Brigitte, I nearly forgot my son this morning, so I didn't quite get an opportunity to put my face on as planned because I left him at school. I didn't. I was on time. Skin of teeth.
Forgetting
but
the
yes,
time.
So it's really interesting, I think, for those of us that really feel like we hate being in front of the camera, to have that sense of or not really at that understanding that models might be sitting there thinking, I feel awkward, this position is really unnatural. Oh.
Absolutely. I think it's very rare. Like, you have natural actors, you have natural models, it exists, but in general it's something you learn. And you asked me, how did my photographic therapy come to be?
Yeah.
So years later, so I was then performing, I call it performance because it almost is, portraiture with people. And it was my friends and my neighbors who said, this is not normal. You're not just a portrait photographer. Something's happening here. And my friend, who is a herbalist, she is a very sensitive person, a clever woman. She said to me, you know what? It's weird because when people come to you, they come reluctantly. And when they leave, when they left, they uplifted. You need to make that your unique selling point. There is something happening there. And my neighbor, Kathy, she says, what are you doing to people? They come through your door like this. I have to have my picture taken. Very reluctant. And when they leave, they almost go, you know. And in the meanwhile, I hear them scream and sing and shout and laugh. What do you do to them? So, and it's my friends basically who said, no, this is your thing. You're doing more, call it photographic therapy. Yeah. So I thought, okay, let's do that. And of course, I then kind of focused on it.
Yeah, and I suppose when people have, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go on.
No, I was just thinking when people have a kind of, you know, you work with a lot of business people, a lot of self-employed people as well. I know you would photograph anyone and children and everything, but because of kind of the circles that we're in, there's a lot of maybe self-employed business people like me that you would work with who have to have their photo taken. It's not because they want some lovely portrait on their wall, it's because they need to do branding shots and they need to have them for brochures. So we're really reluctant. I'm speaking generally. There's lots of us that are really, really reluctant to do it, but we have to. And we're the ones that must walk in going, and coming out like that. And certainly I was dreading it, not dreading spending time with you, because I kind of knew how it would be. I had faith, but I was dreading looking at the photos and hating them because of a sort of, I don't know, I suppose because with photographs, they are exactly how other people see you. Whereas when you look in the mirror, it's different. So you're used to this mirror image. And then when it's a photograph and it's like the true image, that can be very different for people, I think. And so I think that's what sometimes why I don't like having my photo taken, because I think that's not me. It's my face is the wrong way around. Does that make sense?
Totally. It's also the selfie face. You have one selfie face that you use all the time, you know, but when you're being photographed by someone who connects with you, the aim should be, I feel, that you catch this candid moment where you off guard.
And that's what I was going to say, because what you did was, you know, there are some that we took where I'm quite still and whatever else, but there's others where I didn't even know that you were taking the photos as you were taking them. And I think that was really key. And then to, you know, the experience itself feels therapeutic. There's laughing, there's, you know, and there's not been a lot of that recently, has there? Let's face it.
Totally.
I mean, I love my family to bits, but they're the same people day in, day out. And, you know, John's dad jokes can only go so far. No, I'm joking, honest. But, you know, I haven't actually laughed like that and been silly like that. It feels for ages. And that was so nice. I did feel uplifted for exactly that reason. So it was twofold, that afterwards going, I don't not like these, you know, I'm actually pleased to show them, but secondly, the actual experience itself being very therapeutic. Laughing in itself, we know, is very therapeutic, right?
And you know what shocks me in this is that we haven't even been together. It was a virtual photo shoot, and this is only a year old, the virtual photography. I didn't know whether the photographic therapy would translate into it. But it kind of does. The fun factor definitely exists. And if I'm here today on the mindfulness page, I think this is the point. It is improving mental health. It can improve mental health connections with people. If people feel bad or negative or run down, or to have this fun experience is one thing, but then to have the results of it later on, which confirm the positivity, it's like a crash course in positivity that lasts. It lasts because the pictures will miss you forever. Yeah, absolutely. So, and coming back to the mindfulness of it, as I'm studying mindfulness with you for a year now, and the key is to live in the moment, no matter what you do, right? And I think I've been photographing people mindfully even before I knew you, because it's my passion. So I get completely dissolved. I lose myself with this little tool, which is my camera. And I empathize with the person in front of me, even if it's a stranger, very fast. And I do it completely 100% mindfully. You know, it's like when people paint or when people create something and you lose yourself into it.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? The reason we practice mindfulness, because we don't always have the camera or the ability to sing on a stage or paint at the points when we need it. So with mindfulness practice, obviously, we're always using body sensations, feet on the floor, all of that kind of thing. But it doesn't surprise me that you would take, even pre-mindfulness, photographs mindfully, because that is the thing that absorbs you in this present moment. That's what you're doing, and
wonderful.
that's where your attention is completely in, isn't it? You know, that.
And since I knew you, I'm even more aware of it.
Right.
And that translates onto the model in front of the lens. It does. If you, as the model, if you can lose yourself into that little game of fun, we've got the picture, and we don't only have one, we have hundreds.
Yeah, and that's really true. You can, because I think people would probably find it quite hard to think that I'm quite inhibited. They see pictures of me dressed up in stupid costumes all the time, you know, singing, and you do have a tendency to think those sort of people are like extrovert and happy to be the center of attention and whatever, but often it's an act. It's not the real you, and the real you might be quite sort of I don't know, I'm not saying that I'm not quite extroverted, because I can be, but there's a sort of shyness about me being the center of attention, you know, the sort of focal point, and particularly around looks and stuff like that. There's so much stuff that we've been subjected to that makes us question whether we're pretty enough, thin enough, you know, young enough, all of that stuff that just kind of interferes with our ability to just enjoy life and get joy from it. And you know, and it's interesting that even though it's something we're always kind of trying to work with, that actually beauty is within and joy is to be found regardless, it's still there because of what we're fed by media and society and everything else. So yeah, that I did feel yesterday that there was that sort of losing of myself, but it didn't really matter. It didn't really matter. And I put that down completely to you. It was a trust. It was a trust. Because of the way you are, I think, and also, yes, the sort of ease at which you put people, and I think it's really important, because you won't get that with every photographer. You definitely won't.
You see, the wonderful thing as well is you get how do you say, a hard cover proof afterwards. So for example, I have one client, she hates her teeth. They are crooked. I'm not going to deny it. I never lie to my clients. And she said, I can't smile. I will not smile. But of course, due to my talent as a clown, I managed to make her smile. And she cracks up, and all you see is teeth and her, you know. And I said to her, I can prove to you how beautiful you are, even with the crooked teeth. So please just smile. And the photo comes out, and it is a beam of positivity. It's there. You can see it. It's a proof. So this person from now on can think, actually, you know what? I'm not going to hide my face when I smile. I'm just going to smile, because this is how I come across when I smile. It's priceless, isn't it?
Real. Yeah, it's lovely.
And people don't know that. People are in such selfie mode all the time and so controlled, and they're restricting themselves. And makeup is another thing. Makeup, you can hide behind makeup, or you can play with makeup. Makeup can be a mask to give you more confidence. It's all of it, isn't it? And if you allow yourself to be that person who actually plays with it, oh yes, why not putting a mask on for a second if you're not feeling very confident? This morning I put full lipstick on and everything, because I knew I was going to meet you.
Oh God,
and I just feel more powerful with the lipstick on. Why not do that? So the beauty of the photographic therapy is, it's not just happening, you get proof of it afterwards. And whenever you have self-doubt, you can just look at it and say, oh, actually, it's not that bad.
Yeah. And I really genuinely think that there was a sense, sorry, I keep looking down because I'm just checking if loads of people are watching, which is nice.
Oh,
hello everybody.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to see if there's any comments. I can't see any comments at the moment.
I'm not looking, so that's up to you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I keep looking down though. But there is a very definite sense that, you know, some pictures yesterday are very kind of you know, I've sat in a particular position and it's, you know, like business shots and whatever, but they're not my favorites by any stretch of the imagination. You know, the ones that maybe even you think, there's a couple where I'm kind of looking at you and I think, oh, there's going to be occasions where I can actually use them.
Yes.
You know, if that emphasizes a particular, I don't know, whatever post
Yes.
that might be. So you kind of capture something that is a look that says something else, you know, and that could be used amongst all the kind of very stylized, what's the word I'm looking for?
Media, the media posts, yes.
Yeah.
When you want to express something. I've got one client, she was like you, oh, we're not going to use it. Don't even dare publishing those. And it's all she ever uses now are the weird ones where she's going, when you know?
Oh yeah, there's one where I look like that. I'm definitely not using that. I think I was giving you examples of all of my wedding photos just being these ridiculous faces, but I can be, you know,
I love your faces. And the mindfulness community who's watching with us now, they will agree with us when we see you on the screen. And yes, you pull faces, and yes, you waffle. And how much do we love it? How much do we love you, honestly?
Oh yes, waffling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try not to do too much this morning. So I was going to ask, and I think it would be useful for people watching, what they might expect from a session with you. So what you know, how does it work? And maybe you might want to talk about the virtual, how it is currently, and live, maybe a bit of both.
Yes. What do they expect? Do you know what? I can't really answer that question because it's up to each and every individual person. Before every shoot, I'm nervous, like going on stage, because as I said before, it's almost like a performance, because when the person comes through the door and I don't know the person, I have to tune in first. I don't know what's going to come, you know. My job is it to get those candid shots out of that person. So what they can expect is that I tune into them, that I'm going to be 100% there for them. I can 99.9% promise that it's going to be fun.
I reckon you can go full 100% on that one.
And also that they will leave with much more than they expected. They might come for one headshot and they leave with a whole variety of stuff that they might want to or can use for all kinds of reasons, personal reason, branding, whatever it might be. I'm not so, people always say I need to specify in what I do, but honestly, my pictures can be used for anything, any kind of reason. And if it's just therapy, can I tell one quick story about another lady?
Of course.
I had one lady who called me and said, I need you, because she left her husband because he wasn't nice to her. And then she had a boyfriend and he wasn't nice to her either. And she said, I need you. My confidence is completely knocked. Can you help me, you think? She was desperate. She thought nothing of herself anymore because these two men took all her confidence away. And that is a beautiful, wonderful woman. And my heart opens when I hear something like that. Come, you know. So she came, and that was obviously my brief, to make her feel like a woman again. And that was my aim for her shot, and we managed to do that. And she left with amazing photos because she was beautiful anyway. There was not much, you know. It's not like I'm retouching people and make them look different or something. Yeah. I don't. And since then, she's on top of the world, and she does not let any man abuse of her anymore. So that's mission accomplished for me. Maybe
she used some in a new dating profile.
Yeah, totally. That happens as well. Love doing those.
Yeah. That's great. And in terms of, I mean, the practical side of things, you know, we decided a couple of outfits beforehand, backgrounds beforehand. So, you know, if people are doing it in their own home, well, I suppose you could do it on that morning even, couldn't you? But that actually you kind of, there's a little opportunity to perhaps just plan that and the light and things
Always.
beforehand? Yeah.
But the virtual, you can't jump into a virtual shoot like that. I mean, you could, but it's better to have a FaceTime call a few days before, so the model client knows what's coming. And like you said, you prepare the background, the light, you need a tripod and the outfit. What hair are you going to wear? What natural makeup? So my fear with the virtual photography was that the model has to do the whole job. I just sit there and click in the end and direct the person, right? Well, which of course on a live shoot, I do most of it. I do all the muscle work, if you wish, but it works. It works. So the virtual photography, I am very excited about at the moment.
Yeah, and the virtual photography obviously can take place globally. But when you're going back to live shooting as well, presumably this will continue, the virtual stuff. As for me, like stuff will continue on Zoom that wasn't happening before lockdown. But if we're going to take any gratitude from lockdown, it's these different bits of technology that we've been able to use to actually connect people. You know, I've just finished an 8-week course with someone on my course who was in Barbados, you know, so that wouldn't have happened prior. So we can take these little things that we can open up globally. But if you're going back to live photography, do you know when? And also give people a kind of idea of your radius that you would cover in terms of geographical area.
Okay, well, live in person, obviously it's London, Hertfordshire, but I am invited sometimes internationally to cover events. And they, believe it or not, even events, they book me for the photographic therapy because they just chuck me in the beginning of the party. And I set the tone. And once the people left my set, they're all ready to drink and dance and socialize. You know, it's awesome. So, but
the headshots and things mainly sort of London and Hertfordshire.
That's right. And apparently I'm opening on the 14th of April, right? So that's my studio, my little home studio here in Hertfordshire, which people love. I have bookings for after that, but they are kind of more, you call them, they're penciled, right? That's what you say in English.
Penciled in.
It's not the confirmed booking, it's penciled because we don't yet know.
Yeah. No, it's called penciled in.
You
pencil it in your diary because you can rub it out again.
What's the noun?
It's a verb, isn't it? To pencil in.
Yeah. There's no noun?
Not really.
Oh, you do that in English, I swear.
No, there isn't. Yeah. No, it's to pencil in. It is penciled in.
Pencilation. I did.
Pencilation. I love that. That's the kind of fake word John and I come up with all the time. It's a pencilation.
A pencilation. So there is that. We also have, I work with, I met through our networking, which is Athena, fabulous ladies networking. I met two kindred spirits and a stylist. Her name is Asha. Asha Metusha, and I work since 4 years with Peghe, who does makeup from Studio Couture, and they have the same aim than me. They want to lift people's spirits and confidence, and we now work together, and we call that true therapy. And we have a few pencilations for that as well coming up. Obviously, that's hands-on. You can't do that virtually.
So that's the whole shebang, isn't it? Someone styling you, someone doing beautiful makeup and hair as well, or just makeup and stuff?
Hair is possible.
Yes,
it's not the. And often people want to have their own hair done before they come on the shoot. Yeah.
No, I get that. I would.
Yeah.
My hairdresser actually hates that I never let her do me a blow dry. It's offensive to her. If she was in this group, she would be really cross with me because I like to do it my way. Like I'll let her rough dry it, but I like to do it anyway. So I get that. I get people wanting to do their own hair. So you get the full outfit, you get all the makeup, and then you take the photos, and it's like a whole package. That sounds like an amazing gift for someone.
Oh my God, well. Lucy, you have no idea of the impact of that. Because then, of course, styling and makeup is out of my hands, which usually is in my hands as well. I just advise people to be natural a bit more, a bit less. But that's good. However, the clients we had so far in lockdown poses, if you wish. For example, we had one lady who runs a business, but she just had a baby. And she was plumber than usual, because that's just what life does. You are plumber when you have a baby. When you breastfeed a baby, you're plumber. End of story. She was still absolutely, utterly gorgeous. And it was for us to bring that out. She was reluctant. Can this work? And you know what? It did. And when we were finished with her makeup style, different styles. It's not just one makeup, and we go from natural to glamorous and different settings. Anyway, when we were finished with her, that woman was over the moon. She couldn't believe. Do you know what she said? She was still plump. She didn't lose weight during the shoot, but she said, I felt like a supermodel.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
And now she's off with the footage for all over her business.
Of course, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so any men watching in this group, well, you could have it done too, right? But they might consider doing this as a gift to their wife or girlfriend or partner or whatever. You know, I think it would maybe, see, I'm thinking about myself again, aren't I? I'm thinking this is not the sort of thing that I would go, I would really love this, but probably I really secretly would. And for someone to buy it for me might just be that thing that kind of pushed me into it.
And you would grow through it. I can promise that. People always think, no, it's not part of well-being. I don't want the attention, and it's superficial. But you know what? It's not as superficial as it sounds.
No, and particularly if you need photographs, like so many of us need them. It's become a necessity with online branding and everything else. Without photographs, nobody knows who you are. You can't just be a logo, can you? You know, so many of us need to show who we are through things like our photos. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, good. So, it all sounds brilliant. And obviously now I'm so glad we did this after I've experienced it firsthand, because, you know, like I said, I had experienced the amazing photographs that you took, but I was being someone else. So it was easier for me. And also I was singing and stuff, so I couldn't have time to think, which angle of my face is it this time? You know, I was just being stupid. But no, I just want to obviously say thank you, how much I enjoyed it yesterday. Yeah, is there anything else you wanted to mention before we head off this morning? Where can people find you? That's probably important.
Oh, well, I have a LinkedIn link
profile,
which sends you to everywhere, to not link, what's it called? Linktree. And that sends you to LinkedIn and to Instagram and to Facebook. And that's enough for me, I have to say, otherwise my head explodes. And if anyone would like to help me with something, it is to spread the word about the virtual photography globally. If you have, for example, an auntie sitting in New Zealand and you think of giving her a gift or something, maybe this could be an idea. I'd love to spread the virtual photography, because it's like, I feel like I have a new toy, like a little child with a new toy. I'm so excited about it.
And I will put a couple more of the pictures that, you know, over the course of however long, so people will see, you know, the quality that you can get even from the end of a phone, which I just think people don't necessarily know how good they can be. If it's not some massively big lens kind of Nikon or Canon or something, you know, we were using an iPhone and the quality of the pictures was superb. So you know, I think it's educating people that it is just you know, decent. You've got to have a relatively decent camera on the phone, right? It can't be from 1990 or something.
No, but
there won't work cameras then.
I do think people don't trust virtual photography yet, and they should, if it's done right. And Lucy, another thing, you need to post a few pictures from when you were on stage, please. They are such great photos, some of them.
Well, I think I've posted a couple in this group before, but yeah.
Do it again today, underneath. in the
Okay,
comment.
all right. I'll put some from when we did trial by jury.
Yes,
Because one of them is my favorite photo of all time on stage ever, and there's been quite a few. So yeah, I'll post that one. It's just a stupid expression that I'm pulling. I just like it. I like the whole photo. So yeah, okay.
One more thing, Lucy. How do you now connect mindfulness with your experience? Is there a connection?
Insofar as what happened yesterday, you mean?
Yeah, about what I told you today, the whole thing, the package.
Well, I mean, for me, if anyone is thinking of having it done and already understands mindfulness, then knowing that ability to let go of the stories we tell, the thinking of, oh, how it's going to be, or what, there's a couple of comments, I'm going to come to them in a sec. You know, as it's happening, I wonder if I look ugly. I wonder if I'm too fat. I wonder if this is the right clothes. You know, when we practice mindfulness, we're just paying attention to how we feel in the body, you know, and paying attention to the present moment, and we don't engage with those stories. And I think that's the key to being free to have your photo taken, because you let go of the judgment. Is what we practice over and over again, non-judgmental awareness. Let go of the judgment, the self-judgment, the self-criticism, whatever. Just allow yourself to be fully present in your body. And because, like I said, if you notice that you're carrying tension in the jaw, then you have the freedom to release that tension. If you notice your shoulders are up here, then you can do something about it, and you can open your body posture or whatever. So I think that's how the two link in, right? That this letting go. Oh, attitudinal foundations, everyone. Letting go, non-judgment, not trying for anything. Let's bring John Kabat-Zinn into photographic therapy. Take all of the beginner's mind, all of them, they're all in there, all 7.
Wow.
And you bring the kindness element, and everything's happy days, isn't it?
Thank you for saying those words. I almost have tears in my eyes. Do you know what? This is recorded, right? This will stay there.
This will be on Facebook, yeah.
I'm going to write all of this down and make it a post. Thank you for these beautiful words, Lucy. Mwah.
Oh, well, no, thank you for joining us. And I think, you know, hopefully we've made the link of why actually it can be, I think you made it beautifully earlier by saying, you know, there's the moment of joy of having it done, and then the record of having it done to look back and remember, you know, for those times when we're maybe feeling blue or whatever, and then looking at one of those pictures of us laughing our heads off. And you can recreate that sensation in how we feel, you know, knowing that even when times are down, times are good as well. Like, you know, they will come again. This too shall pass. Life goes like that. You know, we're always riding those waves, aren't we? And a reminder of the up part of the wave is a really useful thing to lift our mood when we're feeling low. And I think, yeah, super, super helpful.
Maybe I should change my pitch line into it's mindful photography or something like that.
That you'd have the mindfulness specialists on your back about that one, I think.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Hold on a second. Let me just double check. That's what people have said. Oh, Adrienne said it's such a lovely, informative chat, such a joy. Thank you both. Oh, thanks, Adrienne. Morning, ladies. Morning, Karen. Karen said, we all need a decent picture of ourselves, but it's so hard to get in front of the camera. Brigitte seems friendly and would put me at ease. I love your photo, Lucy. There you go. Haven't heard of virtual photography before. Well, now we have. We've done our job. We've informed people, and now they know and they can find you, and it'll all, yes, know that you're the lady to come to.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks everyone for watching. Do stick any comments in the chat. We will come back to it. I will maybe stick a photo or two as Brigitte has requested. But otherwise, we will see you all very soon. Thanks, everybody. Go on.
Stay safe. Bye.
Oh, yes. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.